On a rainy evening in downtown Chicago, millionaire businessman Daniel Carter walked into a small café he had never noticed before. He was on a call about $1 million deal until something made him suddenly stop talking. Standing just a few feet away, holding a tray, wearing a simple waitress uniform, was his pregnant ex-wife. The same woman he divorced 2 years ago, the same woman he once promised to protect forever. And when their eyes met, Daniel realized something shocking. The baby she was carrying might be his. But what he learned next would change both of their lives forever. Body Part 1, the unexpected meeting 2 years earlier. Daniel Carter had everything: money, a growing tech company, and a loving wife named Emily. But Daniel had one flaw. He believed success meant choosing work over everything else: late nights, business trips, endless meetings. Emily often ate dinner alone. When she tried to talk about starting a family, Daniel always said the same thing: "Not now, maybe later." Eventually, the distance between them grew too wide. Arguments replaced conversations. And one painful night, Emily quietly signed the divorce papers and walked out of Daniel's luxurious life. Daniel assumed she would move on easily. After all, he left her with a generous settlement, or so he thought. Part 2, the truth behind her struggle. Back in the cafe, Daniel couldn't stop staring. Emily looked thinner, tired, but what shocked him the most was the baby bump beneath her apron. When she reached his table, she froze. For a moment, neither of them spoke. "Emily," Daniel finally said. She forced a small smile. "Good evening, sir. What can I get for you?" The formality hurt more than anger. "Why are you working here?" Daniel asked softly. Emily hesitated. Then she said something that made his heart sink. "The settlement you gave me, I never kept it." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean?" "I used most of it for my mother's medical treatment. She was sick, really sick." Daniel had never known. Emily had never told him. "And the baby?" he asked carefully. Emily looked down at her hands. "I found out I was pregnant a week after the divorce." Daniel's world suddenly felt silent. Part 3, regret. All those nights working late. All those times he ignored her calls. And now the child he once said he wasn't ready for was already on the way. "Why didn't you tell me?" Daniel asked. Emily's voice was calm but heavy. "You were finally happy with your company. I didn't want to be another problem for you." Daniel looked around the small cafe. This was the woman who once lived in a penthouse with him. Now she was working double shifts just to survive. And she never asked him for help. That realization hit him harder than any business failure. Part 4, the decision. Daniel stood up. The entire cafe grew quiet. "Emily," he said, his voice firm but gentle, "you were never a problem." She looked confused. "I was just too blind to see what mattered." He took a deep breath. "I can't change the past, but I want to do the right thing now." Emily shook her head slightly. "I'm not asking for anything, Daniel." "I know," he said. "That's exactly why you deserve everything." The next morning, Daniel returned to the cafe. But this time he wasn't alone. He had already arranged a new apartment, medical care, and maternity support for Emily. Not out of guilt, but out of responsibility and something deeper, love he never realized he still had. Part 5, a new beginning. Months later, Daniel sat nervously in a hospital room. When the nurse placed the baby in his arms, his hands trembled. A tiny girl with bright, curious eyes. Emily looked at him softly. "Her name is Lily," she said. Daniel smiled through tears. For the first time in years, money, deals, and success didn't matter. Only this moment did, and only one thought filled his mind: some second chances come disguised as mistakes. And if you're brave enough, they can become the beginning of a better life. Sometimes life gives us success, but it also tests what we're willing to sacrifice for it. Daniel almost lost the most important people in his life because he didn't realize their value in time. So tell me in the comments, Do you think Emily should have told Daniel about the baby earlier? And if you enjoy emotional stories like this one, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story. Because the next one might surprise you even more.